recognized many, many, many years ago. I recognized that there are certain energies that once you allow that energy into your home, it is the most impossible thing to get rid of. For instance, violence. I never allowed anyone, any time in my life, I have never allowed any man to play fight with me, ever. Because I watch, I'm aware, and I've always been aware of other people and what they do, right? There's a lot of masculine energy out there, and they want to be controlling and dominating, and they start at a very young age. And so if you are early and young in a relationship and you allow your partner, male or female, to play fight, to punch you in the leg to get your attention, to slap you on your leg, punch you in the arm, slug bug, that is not playing. Anyway, that is the way that doors open to violence. Once you accept any form of violence in your life, violence will always be in your life. You cannot accept it. You cannot accept it in any form. You don't allow play fighting. You don't allow slap boxing. You allow no rough physical contact, because that is the door that opens it. And from there, it gets worse. And so I recognize that very young in my life. And I have never allowed anyone, not my children, not my friends, to slap box with me. We don't slap box. We don't play like that. We do not play like that. Not for anything. So please realize little things that can do so much damage can sneak into your world if you're unaware. So don't be unaware. Be always consciously living in your body and consciously aware of the people in your life. It's easy to let things slide. It is. It's very easy to let a lot of things slide. But you'll come to realize that once you start letting things slide, everything slides. It's a slippery, slippery room to stand in. Bad place to be. I'm very firm about that, and I always will be. I always will be. And I didn't let my kids do it either. Not to each other. I had to teach my daughter at a young age that if you hit a boy like a boy is going to hit you back like you're a boy. Girls are built to be girls. Boys are built to be boys. And there is a strength factor. There is a roughness factor. Tammy said, verbal abuse hurts. Trying to get away from a relationship of abuse from my marriage. Yes, ma'am. Tammy, I love you so much, darling. It is one of the hardest things because you don't see the scars from verbal abuse. You don't see the scars that a tongue can give. But you feel it and you carry it with you. There's no immunity. There's no immunity. There's no words that don't hurt. And so, I can't tell you or give you advice what to do in your life. I can't, because I also learned a long time ago that until we're ready to do anything, we won't do anything. Until we, the ones being abused, are ready to do whatever we have to do. Until we're tired. And because we love as strongly as, and I won't say we hate because I don't think we can hate. You love as strongly, as madly, as passionately. And it's hard to let that go. It's hard to say love isn't enough. You know, because I heard for years love doesn't pay the bills. Love doesn't pay the bills. You know, you wouldn't support somebody. Yeah, Tammy said, I'm so ready and working on me. I know that. I do. I trust in that. The fear of what ifs is all that holds you back, you know. Plus, there's a lot of complications. I understand that. I do. I understand that. There's a lot of complications. There's so many factors, and we do not know what another person's life is like, even if they tell us. I don't know what Tammy's personal life is like, unless she wants to share, but she's only going to share what she wants to share. She will only tell me what I need to know. And that's how abusers tend to get by with abusing, is that they know that whoever they're with, whoever they're controlling, because it is a control, and I'm not trying to hurt or say anything offensive. I was an abused person. I understand. I spent 3 years of it. And longer. I've been in other abusive relationships, but not for any years at a stretch. And so I do understand the thoughts of a person who is being abused. You're always planning, always scheming, always thinking, always trying to stay one step ahead, and it's so freaking exhausting. It is so exhausting to be in an abusive relationship. And you think, you know, staying for the kids is better for the kids, is better if I do this, and I don't want to make him mad. And so you start staying 2 steps ahead if you possibly can, but it's just a game that runs you in circles. And so when you're done, you're done. And if you're not done, you're not done. Love is too powerful. Love is a very, very, very powerful drug. And it can be used to help, heal, honor somebody, or it can be used to hurt. But I do know that until you're done, you're not done. And so I personally will continue to just send you love, lift you up, let you know that you are loved, that there are resources available to you. I took advantage of them. I had to. I could not go back to the same place that I lived, and that I knew. I grew up in a small country town. I know the back roads like the back of my hand. I can get anywhere I want to be, and I don't have to take a highway to get there. Unfortunately, the person that I was with also grew up out in the country, knew every back road like the back of the hand, and could get anywhere they wanted to be without getting on the highway. And abusers know your patterns. They know that you will go here, or you're going to go there. You will talk to this person. My abuser threatened my children. Said, yeah, you know, I understand. You're tired of me. You want to stay gone. I get it. I do. I get tired of all the time arguing too. But, you know, sometimes you have to fight for what you love, and that's just all there is to it. This is him talking now. But it's all right. Though, like I said, I understand. But I want you to understand that I know where your kids are. I know what time they get off the bus. I know where they walk home from school. I know their paths. I know their times. I know everything about them. So you can leave anytime you want to. Just know that I will always know where your children are. And if you don't think that didn't make me come back, man, you're sadly mistaken. My kids get threatened one time, I'm back to keep my eye on you. Abusers will use every tactic that they can use to keep you where you are. They will do that to you. And you won't leave until you're done. And when you're done, you're done. So just know that I send you love. I send you strength. I send you all the positive energy that I can. I lift you up all that I can. All of you. Darcy, same thing, same message. Anybody who's living in an abusive relationship, same message sent with love and understanding, because I've been there and I know how an abused person thinks. You have to stay 2 steps ahead, but I'm telling you, it's exhausting. And when I did finally get away, I was living in Springfield, Missouri. I got on a bus. I was in Kansas City and into a abused women's shelter, women and children family, whatever. But it was just for women. And it was in a community that was very secretive. Nobody knew where it was at. You could only get there by police car. And, there were very strict rules and regulations that you had to abide by in order to even stay there. So that is what you do. And I stayed in hiding for almost 7 years. I was underground for 3 years straight. I did not have my name on one thing. I only lived in places where I could sign a lease. So, for instance, I lived in a duplex on the other side from the owner. This guy owned the duplex. I moved in on the other side. So it was just a contractual agreement. I signed a lease, but it wasn't public property. And I did not have to have my name on any utilities, because utilities are public knowledge. If you have water turned on in your name and address is on public knowledge. It's public, period. And so I kept all of my information as absolutely private as possible, and that meant that I never, ever got any utilities in my name at all. And I lived like that for the first 3 years after I left him. And the next 4 years, I absolutely stayed in hiding. I stayed underground. Underground just means that your name isn't public anywhere. You're very difficult to locate. And I was very, very, very difficult to locate. And I stayed in the city. That was another thing. I was a country girl and I know nothing about the city. But while I was in the shelter, I met Jeanette, who was a hood rat. That's what she called herself. I'm a hood rat from Kansas City, Kansas, And she taught me how to be a hood rat, how to live in the city and not have to fear. Yeah, and I'm not proud of those days. I'm not proud of those days at all. I'm not. I survived all of those days, and I walked very, very tall, and I didn't have to fear. But there, I was still always looking over my shoulder. I was always packed, and I was always doing my job. Always just doing my job, keeping my head down, doing everything that I can. Fear is so powerful. Fear is paralyzing. But if you take your fear and turn it to awareness and don't let it control or consume you, then you become powerful over fear. Cannot let it consume you. Cannot let it control you. You cannot let fear stop you from doing whatever it is that you have to do.